All right, well, good morning and welcome. All right, my name is Duke Bradley, Chief of Staff here with Henry County Schools. And we thank you for being with us this morning for this significant and what we really believe is a historic announcement. You know, as we were sending out invitations earlier this week, we really wanted to make sure that this moment was full of people who have long supported Henry County Schools. And so we do not take it lightly that you have taken time out of your busy schedules to really spend some time with us today. I want to begin with a few acknowledgments, beginning, of course, with our Board of Education. So please help me welcome our board chair representing District 3, Mrs. Holly Cobb. Representing District 5, Board Vice Chair, Mrs. Annette Edwards. I believe Mrs. Pope, representing District 4, is on her way, but let's just make sure that we honor her as well, Mrs. Sophie Pope. I also want to welcome our Superintendent Mary Elizabeth Davis and our esteemed partners, Dr. Thomas Kabala, from the Dean of the Tift College of Education at Mercer University, and Dr. Irvin Clark, President of Southern Crescent Technical College. Our incredible executive cabinet team is also with us today, so team, if you would please give a wave. So I know that as you were driving in this morning, just as the sun was coming up and you saw this beautiful building appear, you asked yourself, who has the privilege of running such a fantastic building, a fantastic school? Well, that person is none other than Mrs. Monica Blassingame, principal of, you've got to get it right, principal of the McDonough High School. Thank you so much for allowing us to be in your space today. Last week we were fortunate to honor excellence in teaching here in Henry County Schools by announcing our 2022 Teachers of the Year. And so this morning we are not only joined by our overall winner, Mrs. Amanda Millett, but we also have a few other Teachers of the Year from previous years joining us. So if you would, for all of our Teachers of the Year, would you please stand and be recognized? We have Janae Cohen from Red Oak Elementary, James Forsyth from Luella High School, and Jennifer Brown from Locust Grove High School. Again, would you please give them a round of applause? And so let me also quickly recognize all of you collectively who have joined us today. We have really so many friends and visitors. I want to make sure that I catch everyone. We've got a big group from Southern Crescent Technical College. So if you are with Southern Crescent, would you please stand? We've got Anna Taylor, Drew Todd, Kimberly Register, Michael Cook, and James Pease. Also, we have from the Georgia Professional Standards Commission, we have Mrs. Kelly Young. Mrs. Kelly Young, would you please stand? We have Ms. Zawina Poole from the Henry County Board of Commissioners, representing the Office of the Board of Commissioners on behalf of Chair Carlotta Harrell. We have a big group from the Georgia Department of Education. Please, if you would, please stand. I've got my friend, Dr. Stephanie Johnson, Deputy Superintendent. Mrs. Vicki Runbacon. And Mr. Matt Cardoza from the Georgia Department of Education. Matt, please stand. Everybody knows Matt. And any other guests that I may have missed, if you would, please stand and be recognized. We thank you so much for being with us today. Hopefully I didn't miss anyone. Okay. All right. Well, again, we thank you all so much for being with us today. But for all of the guests who have joined us, none is more special than the next person that you will hear from, a student and a future teacher, in fact. Would you all please help me welcome Addison Phillips, sixth grade teacher from Ola Middle School.
Hi, my name is Addison Phillips, and I am a sixth grader from Ola Middle School. When I grow up, I want to be a teacher. One reason I want to be a teacher is because I was a Regal Roadrunner. A Regal Roadrunner is basically a student ambassador. And my student ambassador job was to go help kindergartners with their sight words. And I loved every minute of it. I want to be able to make an impact on kids' life and be able to a part in how they grow about their future, while creating a safe environment that they feel comfortable with and are excited to come to each day. I feel that teachers, especially elementary teachers, are not just teaching students subjects, but manners and how to carry themselves as they go on to their next chapter in their life. I've grown up in a school all my life. Both my parents are teachers, and we can't go anywhere without them saying, "Hey, Coach Phillips." How teachers have made an impact on my life is teachers have shown they truly cared and would go out of their way to make sure every student had the best learning environment. By the end of the year, my classmates felt more like family or a big friend group rather than just my classmates. For example, I would go to my 4th grade teacher, Miss Partain's room every morning before homeroom and give her a hug and see if there was anything she needed help with, whether it be a dance party with fake snow or a fun lab outside. Those small memories really stuck with me because it shows that teachers went out of their way to make learning fun. And I would love to be able to do that and have an impact on kids. Thank you so much for this amazing experience.
Wasn't that fantastic? Wasn't that fantastic? Before we bring our superintendent up, Mary Elizabeth, I also wanted to make sure that we acknowledge Mrs. Sophie Pope, who just arrived this morning, and the wonderful students from McDonough High School who are here with us as well. Warhawks, please raise your hand. All right, fantastic. Thank you all so much for being with us today. All right, Mary Elizabeth.
Good morning. You know, Mrs. Stagliano, Mrs. Morrison, Mrs. Mackey, Mr. Blair, Mr. Phillips, Mr. Arbogus, Mrs. Bubb. That's why I'm standing right here. They may mean nothing to you, names you've never even heard of. They are my names, and they are why I do what I do and why I stand right here. You know, it was actually Mr. Blair and Mr. Arbogus who gave me my absolute love of science and, more importantly, explaining how science works, which is why I started my career as a chemistry teacher. It was Mr. Wentz in AP Calculus who gave me the belief that I can do hard things and I can do them on my own. It was Mrs. Bubb who has made me the writer that I am today. So those people who receive my edits, you can thank Mrs. Bubb. And Mr. Phillips, well, Mr. Phillips took this 7th grader, unwilling to speak publicly, unwilling to answer aloud, unwilling to talk in front of her classmates, to be the person who's standing right here, right now, talking in front of all of you. And while we've not gathered so that I could share my personal testimony of why I deeply believe in public education, we actually are gathered because I believe that the future, Mr. Wentz's, Miss Bubb's, Mr. Blair's, Miss Mackey's, Miss Morrison's, they are currently students in classrooms in Henry County schools across our district. They are in classrooms across our state, and they are in classrooms across our country, and they are our future teachers. So today we are gathered to publicly announce our intent to reimagine the teaching preparation pipeline for Henry County schools with a replicable model that really only requires a K-12 school district and extraordinary partners from a technical college and a post-secondary institution. So, Henry County Schools, Southern Crescent Technical College, and Mercer University have gathered together so that we can find tomorrow's teachers today. Our Tomorrow's Teachers Today initiative really began with a conversation. It's actually a real story people want us to actually tell the real story, but this is the real story. It started with what if. What if tomorrow's teachers were in our classrooms today and we told them that? What if tomorrow's teachers were in our classrooms today and they knew that we believed that? And what if tomorrow's teachers today were actually exposed to a teacher who saw the gift of caring for other people, the gift of explaining and helping how things work, the gift of communicating and bringing people together around something that matters dear? What if our young people knew they were our teachers for tomorrow? And while I'm super thrilled that our McDonough High School students are here, they are not just our McDonough High School students. They are our future Henry County Schools teachers. Each of the McDonough High School students that are here today are currently participating in the Teaching as a Profession pathway. And so you are first to hear how we believe your trajectory to a classroom salaried position is at your fingertips. And we might, at the end of this, sign some contracts and get you on staff. Our HR team is here. But today we announce this redesigned and reimagined teacher preparation pipeline that has 3 components. It starts first with a K-8 model, where every teacher in Henry County Schools will be invited to tap a future teacher by identifying someone showing an aptitude of being an effective teacher someday. Starting with kindergartners all the way through 8th graders, we will have a cadre of young people who know that they are being nurtured to be future teachers of Henry County Schools. They will participate in a curriculum with a series of activities, including being teacher helpers and teacher aides, and help with the preparation of classroom materials. And our former Teachers of the Year will be invited to be a part of designing that entire K-8 program. The second component is a complete redesign and re-articulation of the course sequence that occurs in high school for young people who know they aspire to be a teacher. We will enhance the current Teaching as a Profession pathway with up to 33 dual enrollment credit hours and allow for paid work-based learning placements junior and senior year in schools across Henry County. Upon completion of high school, with whatever credits have been earned at that point, there will be a direct matriculation into a post-secondary institution. That post-secondary institution will provide a customized College of Education program right here in our community, while candidates in that program serve as salaried apprenticed teachers under the direct one-to-one supervision of either a mentor teacher, a retired teacher returning to the classroom, or an experienced teacher. Now, that is only possible when you have agencies like Southern Crescent Technical College and Mercer University who are willing to answer the simple question that started it all. What if tomorrow's teachers were in our classrooms today and we told them about it? So I'm so honored to be here. I'm proud of our extraordinary partnership that has emerged with Southern Crescent Technical College and Mercer University, and I am proud to publicly announce our intent to bring this very replicable model to life this very school year, and to serve as a thought partner to districts across our state, agencies across our state who are nurturing their own generation of future teachers, who will not only change our world, but they will change the lives of the next generation of students. It is my pleasure to bring my partners to the podium to share in this announcement, and so at this time, I'll turn the microphone over to Dr. Clark from Southern Crescent Technical College.
Good morning, everyone. I am so excited about this opportunity for Southern Crescent Technical College to be a part of this very innovative program. I want to publicly thank Dr. Davis for her vision. We talked about this several months ago, and when we talked about it, I was totally on board with this. I can tell you that Southern Crescent is focused on workforce development, and to be able to have an opportunity for our students to be able to begin classes at our college, transition to Mercer University, participate in an apprenticeship program. In addition to that, also all of these partners working together with the focus of keeping these students in Henry County, starting classes at our college, continuing at Mercer, working in the district. This is all what it's all about in terms of workforce development and keeping Henry County strong in terms of teacher education and having teachers in our classrooms. So we are proud to serve and support this initiative. We look forward to working with all of our partners. And again, thank you, Dr. Davis, for your leadership and your vision with this program. Thank you so much.
Good morning. My name is Tom Kabala. I'm the Dean of the Tift College of Education at Mercer University. And someone asked me yesterday, what are you doing? Do you like your job? I told them, hey folks, I'm living the dream. And in fact, I am. And part of that dream is being here today to think about the future and how we can work with Henry County Schools and Southern Crescent Technical College to enable this vision to become a reality. As I was listening to Allison speak, I was about ready to run over to her and say, go Bears! We want you to be a Mercer Bear. The neat thing about what we're assembled today to think about and to plan for is that what we're discussing and what Superintendent Davis has described is not something that a single entity can do on its own. It requires partnerships. It requires thinking about that continuum of learning experiences and disposition development from an early age through the career of education, from beginning teacher to veteran teacher to perhaps educational leader. Unfortunately, what has happened across the nation is that we find too many educators discouraging young people to become educators. I think this is one of those initiatives that can change that tide to really encourage our young people to think about something different, to think about a career as an educator. This is my 41st year as an educator, and I couldn't be prouder to stand before you today. And Allison, we need to talk because I want you as a Mercer Bear. Thank you all.
Good morning, everyone. So I promised I wasn't going to get emotional today, but then Addison spoke, and she reminded me so much of myself because I knew at an early age I was going to be a teacher too. So Addison, I feel you, girl, and don't give up on that dream. So it's an honor to be here this morning. When I was asked to speak about the importance of teachers and my hopes for the future of education, I immediately thought, how long do I have? Teachers and the field of education are two things that are so important to me. It takes a very special kind of person to be a teacher. And I'm not just saying that because I am one, but I believe with all of my heart that teachers have the most important job in the world, and not just anybody can do this. The teachers that I've had the pleasure of coming in contact with give absolutely the best of themselves to help students at all levels to discover their purpose, their gifts, and their talents. And then they support them through that process of developing those gifts and those talents. Teachers work diligently to provide students with a safe place to learn, like Addison said, and they grow while still challenging them to be better than they were when we met them. Teachers play so many roles depending on their specific needs of who you're working with at that time. Every decision a teacher makes, and I mean every decision, has a tremendous impact on our students. No pressure, right? So my hope for the future of education and teachers is that teachers will feel supported in the ways that will have them to remain in the classrooms and in other positions that they can continue the work of supporting students in a world that is oftentimes very difficult to navigate. I hope that the field of education is going to be inundated with new teachers like Addison, who are excited about the opportunity to work with students, who believe in public education, who care about students, and who want to have a positive impact on them through our teaching every day. There will always be mandates. There will always be something expected of us, and they are there to hold teachers accountable and to hold our profession to a high standard. But in the midst of those many expectations that fall on us, my hope is that teachers always remember and I mean always through the hard times, remember, which is really hard to do, why we do what we do, what is driven for the best interest of the kids that we teach, because they are without a doubt the most important reason that we have to do what we do every day. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Mrs. Millette, and thank you to our team from Mercer and Southern Crescent, Dr. Kabbalah and Dr. Clark. We have really just embraced an extraordinary opportunity that's on the horizon. And so while it is quite possible that there is a workbook in Waterford Elementary in a third grade classroom somewhere where I sketched out this real dream I had as an 8-year-old that I could go help the kindergartners, we have many decades later arrived at a moment where, of course, the three of us working together is not what is getting the work done. We have an extraordinary working team, and I want to recognize those that have been on our working team and allow that to shed light on our next steps. So if you would stand to be recognized, we have our Mercer University team of Dr. Augustine and Dr. Sartin, who've been unbelievable partners, or don't stand. I have not seen you out of a Zoom box in like a long time. So stay standing because we are a team, our Henry County team. Termarian McCrary and Carl Knowlton, along with Courtney Jones and Carrie Edwards and Amy Spicer and Anissa Johnson, have been an extraordinary part of this team. And it is a little bit of a legacy of our former executive cabinet members, Valerie Sue Smith and Missy Morse, who were at the start of so much of this work. Want to recognize their origin role. And then our Southern Crescent team, Drew Todd, Steve Pence, and Kimberly Resister, thank you. If you could stand and join in the team that is going to make this happen. This team is welcome to sit now as I tell them their work so that they can take some notes. Well, of course, we are going to quickly accelerate what it means to start recruiting our current 8th grade class into this customized high school experience. We are going to meet and talk with our current Teaching as a Profession pathway students and talk about the on-ramps and bridges into this opportunity. And our Teachers of the Year will be invited to convene in order to craft our K-8 model. So that really recruitment and sort of bringing this into existence will happen in the next couple of weeks, months, and into the early part of our second semester. But then there'll be a very serious look at the course articulation and a real resolution to right courses, right timing, right offers, and really making sure that within that we have on-ramps and off-ramps for a variety of student requirements. And then we'll also consider the funding mechanisms to ensure that this is stabilized through an investment in our tomorrow's teachers today. And then I also just want to recognize that there are very significant partners that are in the room, and their presence means the opportunity for us to not only impact the classrooms in Henry County schools, but the classrooms in every school in the state of Georgia. So to our PSE partners that are here and our Georgia Department of Education partners that are here, I'd like to just applaud your presence and your collaboration with us one more time. And then, in exactly 4 years, maybe 3 actually, I'm going to be coming and visiting your classroom. And I'm going to read to students that are in your classroom like I just did at Walnut Creek Elementary, and I'm going to come and walk in with your principal and we're going to celebrate exactly what you are doing, because our teachers 3 years from now are standing in the back, and the teachers I'm going to hire in exactly 6 years are right there. And I can't wait to be a part of what tomorrow's teachers today will bring to life. So, Dr. Bradley, at this time I'm going to turn it back over to you.
And so now, for the moment that we've all been waiting for, perhaps in addition to hearing our star of the show, Addison Phillips, the official signing of the MOU memorializing the strategic partnership between Southern Crescent Technical College and the Tift College of Education at Mercer University and Henry County Schools. So Dr. Davis, Dr. Kabala, Dr. Clark, would you please grab your pens? I see that you've already grabbed your pens. And do us the honor of setting this partnership in motion. Congratulations. All right, one more round of applause. Well, ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you so much for being with us today. We really appreciate you coming out and commemorating this historic moment for us. I'm sure the Principal Blassingame won't mind if we spend just a few more minutes together fellowshipping and reconnecting with one another, but that concludes our ceremony for today. If many of you would hang around, we're going to take some pictures as well, and we really kindly invite you to share the details of this day on social media and back with all of your respective organizations and communities. Again, thank you so much for being with us today, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you for supporting Henry County Schools.